Hello, good people. I'm sure you're surprised. I am coming up with a review video, but times change. People have to do things when they are required. So let's get to it. I took the paper today on 19th December. Uh, uh, Same slot, 2 to 3. Everybody had the same slot. Let's get to what I am trying to accomplish within this video. My cursor has become inactive. I can't go from one page to the other. Anyway, the agenda, the things that I will cover, the test conduct experience, what all happened at my center. Um, this may be very, very unique to me. So if it is not valid for you, you can happily skip. The VA section review, the AR section review, the QA section review. I don't really know the name of the sections. These are my best guesses of what the names are. I haven't even bothered. I know this is the 15 question section. This is the 25 question section. This is the 20 question section. Then the overall review. Then we'll get into QA section deep dive, as in all questions of the QA section. Some from my memory, some from some of my students, some from YouTube videos that are already up. So I've taken a lot of help and I've compiled all of them. Most of the questions were correct in the QA section. And then there were a few contentious questions as well. What all contentious questions? They're not as popular as the other ones, but all contentious questions I've also listed. I will also go through every question solution so you know whether it is contentious, not contentious clearly. And then this is the primary reason why I'm making this video, follow-up actions. Yes, there were a few questions that were wrong. Given the fact we don't really have clarity on what happens with those wrong questions. So we have to be a little proactive and do something at our end to ensure that corrective steps get taken. Let's get into it straight away. My own test conduct experience, the admit card said reach there by 12. No entry will be allowed after 1:30. At my center, entry was started at 1:04. It went on till 1:18. Then it stopped. Then next batch of people were allowed in at from 1:25-ish. This is the time I entered. And this was like right at the edge of 1:30 time limit. This was all on account of the fact that the ION Digital Zone Center that I was taking the exam at, it had an IBPS exam right prior to this snap happening. So it was very, very poor management or allotment or assignment. I know this is not something Snap can take care of, but then this is extremely nerve-wracking for a lot of people standing outside. As in at 1:25, if you've not been allowed in, and it's not like I was the last person to enter the center. There were several people after me who had entered. So people were still being let in at as late as 1:50. So the process could have been much, much smoother. Then the social distancing scam, everything is a scam. Why I say scam? You bring your own hand sanitizer, nobody brings it, nobody cares. You bring your own gloves, nobody brings it, nobody cares. It is absolutely useless. People are supposed to stand this feet apart, that feet apart. Nobody stands apart, nobody does that. But then this is not a snap problem, this is a people problem, this is an India problem. In India, for some reason, we think COVID is over and now we can live our life the way we want to, which is very, very unsafe. Please take care. Items to be taken. At our center, the admit card said, take a pen. At our center, they took our pens and did not let us take them in. After we went in, the invigilators tell us, do you have a pen? If you don't have a pen, you should have brought it because we had asked you to bring a pen. The admit card says you should have a pen. Then people fought and then we got a pen. Not the most ideal outcome. Why have at least one clear line of communication? Again, there's a mid management and low management level issue, but then when the invigilators are, as in, not that they disturbed me, but they were kind of weird. One of the invigilators in my center said, as in, they were handing out the rough sheet in the beginning at the start of the test, and the invigilator did not want us to write down anything on the rough sheet until the exam started. And he ended up making a statement, आप exam related कोई भी चीज rough paper पे नहीं लिखेंगे. Rough paper आपके exam related चीजों के लिए नहीं है. Absolutely stupid, but ठीक है, 1 घंटे का paper, invigilators had very little role to play. If you were in the zone solving the questions, it would not have been that much of an issue. But my biggest worry or concern was the entry timing. It was weird. If you're going to call people at 12, at least start at 12:30. Have some decency. People, you don't value other people's time, yet you have your own rules about timing. Very, very unbecoming of institutes. And let's just say Snap is not the only institute. Snap is not the only exam guilty of this. This happens across all exams. So people who are punctual and reach there on time, they are the ones who suffer, which is very, very bad. You are the one following the rule and you are the one suffering. That should not happen. Okay. VA section overview. There were no RCs, just like last year. This is great. Some new question types. There was some British American usage. Shall is archaic English. In modern English, we don't have shall. Shall is British English. American English has will for everything. British English has for the first person noun, collective or singular, they use shall. So I shall, we shall, that is acceptable. That is British English. Then there was some poem-based grammar question, some Sarojini Naidu's poem, and then line 1, line 2, line 3, line 4. I don't know the answers, but it was a section which was going to be good for those people who like to read a lot, people who talk in English, people who communicate in English a lot. And when I say English, I mean grammatically correct English. No, what's up, dude, yo, what's up, man. Though that is not English. That is bastardization of the highest degree. People who communicate in English would have been fine with the section because there were a lot of conversational English things thrown in, which made a lot of sense. Like slap on the wrist is a very, very common phrase. If you know about, if you read it, slap on the wrist is very, very common. So things like that. Overall, pretty simple section. And if you're good in the VA section, you should do it within 5 to 7 minutes. If you're poor in the VA section, you should do it within 5 to 7 minutes, because the questions were such that either you knew or you did not know. There is no point trying to decipher the answer from the options given. You know it, great. You don't know it, move. Okay. The AR section, or the 25 question section, there was critical reasoning, as in verbal reasoning and non-verbal reasoning, both included. There were no sets of questions, as in you did not have common information for 2 questions or 3 questions or 4 questions, nothing of that sort. Everything was an individual question, which is nice. There are some brilliant questions, logical order ones. This is where I liked the test. So there's a question on arrange them in the logical order. Industry 4.2, then digital revolution, then industrial revolution, and then final was Stone Age. So this question is intelligent, as in, but then intelligent because if you know the answer, great. As in, even if you did not know the answer, even if you only knew that Stone Age is where you had to start, if you arrange them in chronological order, Stone Age is where you would have to start. There's just one option which started with Stone Age. So if you did not get flustered and went to the options, a lot of times options were very helpful. Options had your own. There's another logical order question wherein you had conclusion, results, literature review, methodology, introduction. So if this is the order of steps that you do while publishing a research paper, so results and conclusion have to come at the end. There was just one option in which results and conclusion was coming in the end. You see that, you go ahead and mark it. One contentious question was the SY. Where is who is the person sitting to the immediate left of this one? And I'm calling this contentious right now, not because the question was wrong, but because what is happening right now is I have seen a few videos of other institutes and other trainers, and they are saying the answer is why. At least the 3 videos that I watched, everyone said the answer is why. I don't have answer as why. I have answer as none of these. None of these is correct. This was the precise option. Because in the question it was said S is to the left of somebody, and finally, as in the original question text, S is to the left of somebody, and finally that who is to the immediate left. In the common global question thread, there was no immediate word mentioned. In the final thing, there was an immediate mention. So the only way this question can be framed or understood or solved by a reasonably intelligent person would have to be if immediate and left have been differentiated here. And anyway, logically, we know S is to the left of P does not mean S is to the left of B. I think it was the person B. S is to the left of B, that does not translate it to S is directly to the left of B, And then finally, we had to identify who is to the immediate right of T. You don't get Y precisely. S or Y, both could be possible. Therefore, none of these is correct is my answer. This is contentious because it is differing from other institutes' answer. I don't really remember other questions within this section, but pretty nice. Everything else was pretty nice. There were usual suspects, number coding, family tree, input, output, clocks, calendars, everything was present. You needed to know basics. Say there was a clocks and calendar question, which is such a beautiful question. One was a normal year. A normal year has 52 weeks plus 1 day. And then a leap year has 366 days and something extra. And then there were three things that were definitely true. We knew that. And you had to identify which of this was wrong. The fourth statement was a century. The third thing was 1800 was not a leap year. We know these three things to be absolutely true. So the fourth thing which said a century cannot end on a Tuesday, something like that. You did not have to reach this answer by selection. You had to reach this answer by elimination. These three get away. So the AR section was beautifully designed. There was scope for people to make errors. There were traps laid out, but if the question was not nice, the options are nice. If the options are not nice, the question was nice. Very, very straightforward. Let's get to the QA question. Prior to me having fight with the questions, I think I will have a fight with people. There are three precise contentious questions. They will come up later. Everywhere that I'm hearing, people are going, quant was very difficult, quant was very lengthy, quant was very this, quant was very that. Now I understand I'm a trainer and I've been doing this for a long time, but I honestly did not find quant as ghastly as I'm hearing on different places. Lots of questions were straightforward, very familiar setups, very familiar traps, things that people are supposed to know. As in level one questions, straightforward level one questions. People are calling them lengthy, maybe because you're doing everything by equations, but then questions were not as in the section was not as draconic as people are making it out to be. At least I don't know if that is the case. Okay, we have no clarity on what will happen with the wrong questions, if anything. We'll see what can happen. No normalization is frankly childish and stubbornly. The problem is, I'll get to it why I'm making this statement, because if for the wrong questions, they go ahead and do not assign you any marks. As in, they keep those questions out of consideration. The total marks become 57. And out of that, now you're being marked. Given that there is no normalization, somebody is being marked out of 57, somebody is being marked out of 60. The 60% has a distinct advantage now. Or the inverse of that, if these three questions which are wrong, everybody gets a +1. The slot 2 and slot 3 people have a distinct disadvantage, because these three people have started off at +3. So either of those outcomes is not nice. What is nice is normalization. But then they clearly have given an instruction. We will not entertain any correspondence regarding this. So the same thing overall with you. We have no clarity on what will happen with the wrong questions. If anything, no normalization is frankly childish and stubbornly. This is like, no, this is my rule and you will have to learn to live with it, even though statistically does not make sense. And this is the instructions page of the admit card. Candidate can appear. Okay. Now this, from here, if a candidate appears for 2 tests, the highest score will be considered for final percentile calculation, and there will be no normalization. And then look at the statement, which I find very, very, counterintuitive. A rigorous process that has been statistically tested will be administered to ensure the unique type of questions are framed under a specific topic across the question papers. Normal spread will ensure that there is no unfair advantage to the candidate who opt for any specific test or multiple tests. This will ensure normalization of the spread of all questions across sections. Furthermore, the question papers will be normalized for level of difficulty across all three sets. No correspondence regarding this will be entertained. On one hand, you're claiming a rigorous process was undertaken to statistically align the difficulty levels. On the other hand, there are wrong questions in the paper. So once you have wrong questions in the paper, then every other claim that you make about statistical balancing and doing this and that, that becomes a little difficult to believe. And therefore, it's a little challenging right now. You can't blindly say Snap is doing a good job. Let's say, let's get into QA section deep dive. This is a geometry question. You had a diagram like this. AB is the diameter of the circle, O is the center. ROS, you had 40 degree here. So look at this. If you were to simply join these 2 points, R and S. So you'll get, if this is 40, this will be 20. Angle at the center is double the angle at the circumference. So this is 20. Because this is the diameter, this will be 90. So this will be 90. Now look at the triangle BRT. This is 20, this is 90. This has to be 70. 70 degrees is the right answer. Pretty straightforward. But fun thing, I have done it wrongly in the examination. In my haste to solve or stupidity, I have done this. I have taken this as 40. Because this is 40, this is 90. I have got this as 50. And although there was no 50 as an option, I have marked none of the above. And I have gotten this wrong. But the answer should be 70. When I recreated it, then I realized, okay, the brilliance of my working. But 70 degrees should be the answer. The next one. Two alloys weighing 30 kg and 60 kg contain copper in different proportions. A piece of equal size is broken off from both alloys, and the first part of the first alloy is mixed with the second part of the second alloy, and same is true of the other two parts. Now both newly formed alloys have same purity of copper. Find the size of the alloy broken off. This is a very, very familiar setup. All you have to do was, what is the ratio of these two? 1:2. So break this into 1:2. 10 kg, 20 kg. Break this into 1:2. 20 kg, 40 kg. So let's say this had 0% copper and this had 100% copper. 0% copper and 100% copper. So 10 kg of 0% and 20 kg of 100%. Whatever purity you are getting in one place, at the other place you are getting 20 kg of 0% and 40 kg of 100%. Hopefully you can see it will be precisely the same. The purity will be same in both these cases. It is whatever ratio these two items are in, you break that up, you get your answer. It's a very, very familiar setup. If nothing else, I have encountered this question at least 8 times throughout the year in different mocks and tests and everything. I've discussed this in class in many different ways. So this is not a difficult question. This is not a difficult question. It's a very, very familiar question. Another one which was being claimed as difficult, A, B, C have average scores of 83, 76, 85. Average of class A and B 79. So see, 83 and 76 are giving you an average of 79. Using allegation, can we find out the ratios? 4, 3. There are 3 people in this group. There are 4 people in this group. Now 76 and 85 are giving us an average of 81, 5, 4. Again, 4 people in this group, 5 people in this group. So you have 3 people having an average of 83, 4 people having an average of 76, and 5 people having an average of 85. Now, if you did not know assumed mean, you would go ahead and multiply and divide it by 12 to reach your answer. If you knew assumed mean, what you would do is, the deviation here is 3 into 7, 83 minus 6, 7, 3 people. So you've got a surplus of 21. 9 into 5, you got a surplus of 45. So from assumed mean of 76, you have 45 plus 21, 66 by 12. These many people are getting the surplus. So this gives me 76 plus 5.5 equal to 81.5. No more calculation was needed for this. This is all the work that you had to do. Let's go to the next one. This one, see, the only thing was you had to identify this is log 10, 10. So you break this down as 12x plus 3 is equal to 10x plus 10. 2x is equal to 7, x is equal to 7 by 2. There was no option like 7 by 2, so you had to mark none of these or none of the above, whatever was the option there. So that is how it went. And a lot of people have got this right, so which is not a problem. Then there was a DI set. I can't recall the entire DI set, but I just know the weight lifter set. So there was a 197 by 45, which was the fifth person. Then there was 435 by 100, which was the seventh person. Then there was the first person, and then I don't know, some other person. These two people had something less than 4 and something just over 4. Between these two, there was fraction comparison involved. See, if you double it, you get 394 by 90 and 435. This is 100. This is 10. This is 41. Between these two, clearly this is smaller, this is larger, this is middling. So this has to be largest. 5 has to be the answer. Nobody expected you to do this and then reach your maths based answer. That is not how fraction comparison works. Okay, this one here, this entire expression is entirely divisible by 9. Find x. Look at this. 10 raised, these powers may be off. These powers may not necessarily be correct, but anyway, 10 raised to the power 99 minus 1 will be a number composed entirely of 9s. 99999999. So this part is anyway divisible by 9. I have to ensure this part is divisible by 9. This number here is 1 followed by some zeros. So sum of the digits here is 1. And if the number is divisible by 9, I need sum of digits to be divisible by 9. 1 plus some digit is divisible by 9. That sum digit has to be 8. So answer was clearly 8. Straightforward. 50% of the journey at 25 km per hour, 40% of the journey at 20 km per hour, rest at 10 km per hour. Find average speed. So what I did was take distance to be 200. So 100 kilometers at 25. So 4 hours. Then 40% of the journey, so 80 at 20. So 4 hours. And then finally you're left with 20 kilometer at 10 kmph. So 2 hours. So distance was 200. Total time was 10. Average speed was 20 kmph. Pretty straightforward. How many numbers bigger than 2000 and smaller than 7000 can be made using 0, 1, 2, 4, 5, 7, 9? Again, this is a familiar trap because in PNC, I'm sure you've come across questions in which they have removed digits. So in case you did not pay attention to that, you might end up making an error. Otherwise, pretty nice. You could have your leading digit as 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 or 6 or not 3. 3 will not come here. Of course, 7 it will not go to. Now the follow-up digits, because we were told. Hopefully, you know that the storyline is going to be identical everywhere. So there were 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 digits available. 1 is used up. So this can be filled up in 7 ways. This in 6 ways. This in 5 ways. Gives me 210. Each of these will also give me 210. So total answer will be 840. Okay. A leak in the tank can empty it in 12 minutes and 18 minutes. 2 leaks. In what time will they together empty the tank? Tank size 36. Rate 1 is 3. Rate 2 is 2. So total time taken will be 36 by 5, which is 7.2. These are very, very straightforward questions. This one here, 2p minus 1 x square plus 2p plus 1 x plus c is equal to 0. Q plus 1 x square plus 4q plus 1 x plus 3c is equal to 0. If the above equations have same roots, if they have same roots, effectively everything should be same. Everything should be same. Yet when you look at the constant portion, what has happened? The constant portion has become into 3. The constant portion has become into 3, which means q plus 1 is nothing but 3 times of 2p minus 1, and 4q plus 1 is nothing but 3 times of 2p plus 1. All you have to do was solve this simultaneous equation. So from here we'll get q plus 1 is equal to 6p minus 3. From here we'll get 4q plus 1 is equal to 6p plus 3. So minus plus, we get 3q is equal to 6, q is equal to 2. Once you get q is equal to 2, we can put it here. 3 is equal to 3 times of 2p minus 1. Cancel 1. This 1 goes to the other side. 2p equal to 2, p equal to 1. Find p plus q. P is 1, q is 2. Answer 3. Basically, it was entirely dependent on UC. This c and this 3c, it has become 3 times. So make every coefficient 3 times. A and B speak truth 70% and 80% of the time respectively. What is the probability they will contradict each other? So A truth, B false, or B truth, A false. These are the only 2 cases. So 7 by 10 into 2 by 10. 3 by 10 into 8 by 10. 14 plus 24 by 100. Or 0.38. Nice question. That was a binomial question. Pretty useless binomial question. See, the term here which will not have any presence of x is a0, and that is going to be nothing but minus 3 raised to the power 9. Minus 3 raised to the power 9. Now minus 3 raised to the power 9 is going to be a negative number. Now if you know 3 raised to the power 8 is 6561, that is the upper limit of values I know in powers of 3. So getting to 3 raised to the power 9 was also pretty simple. That to be 3 minus 19863. Sorry, 683, not 863. 683. Simply had to multiply. Even if you don't know 3 raised to the power 8, I'm sure you know 3 raised to the power 6, 729, you know. So 729 into 27, if you do, then also you'll get this 3. Your work is done, no problem. Okay, so this is also done. Next one. A seller uses faulty scales that he cheats by 300 grams both at the time of buying and selling, and he buys and sells only in packet sizes of 5 kg. If he claims to sell on cost, what is his actual profit percentage? So basically, while buying, he buys 530. He buys 530, pays for 500, and at the time sells 470, but receives for 500. This is what he's doing. So the profit here is 53 by 50. The profit here, the ratio of, as in his overall gain here is 53 by 50, or 53 by 50. Here the overall gain is 50 by 47. So the overall ratio of SP by CP. I can't use the terminology because that is very specific to class. SP by CP is 53 by 47. So when you want to calculate profit percentage, it will be 6 by 47. Now this, if it had been 6 by 48, it would be 12.5. So the answer has to be slightly more than 12.5, and we are getting 12.76. If you want to calculate it precisely, you still reach the same value. Not a problem. It has to be 12.76. Next, A, B, C are relatively co-prime. A into B is 551, B into C is 1073. So basically, this question was trying to find out how do you break up 551 into factors. So how you had to go about doing this here was a very good technique here. What helps is, what is the nearest perfect square to 551? Hopefully, you know it is 24 square, 576. So this is 576 minus 25. In such questions where numbers are relatively co-prime, finding the nearest perfect square and seeing what is the difference from there helps immensely. 576 minus 25. This is 24 square minus 5 square. You would have identified 19 into 29 quickly. Once you identified that, let's do this here again. 1073. 1073. Do we know the nearest perfect square to this? It is 33 square 1089. This is 1089 minus 16. So you get 33 square minus 4 square. So you have 29 into 37. So the three numbers you have 19, 29, 37. Sum is 85. This was the final answer. Again, very familiar setup. Very, very familiar setup. Next is X can do a job in 5 days. Starting from second day, 3 people were fired every alternate day. Starting from third day, 2 people were hired every alternate day. And the work was done in 7 days, 5x. Okay, so day one, X people worked. Day 2, X minus 3 people worked. Day 3, X minus 1 people worked. 3 people were fired on day 2 and 2 people were hired. So X minus 3 plus 2. Day 4, X minus 4 people. Day 5, X minus 2 people. Day 6, X minus 5 people. Day 7, X minus 3 people. So in 7 days, 7x minus 5 to 3, 7x minus 18, this much work was done. We were also told X people can do it in 5 days. So 5x is equal to 7x minus 18. 2x is equal to 18, x is equal to 9. This would be the answer. Question 16, very, very familiar trap. Triangle A and B are similar. It was not precisely in this language. Some kid had a playground of side 1 and the other kid had thrice the side. So if you are similar, and let's say this is 1, this is 3, the areas will be in the ratio 1:9. And the question was, what percent is these area greater than that of greater? So 9 minus 1 is 8. So 8 by 1 is 800%. This will be the answer. Again, very familiar setup, very familiar thing. Now, this is a question that I have not seen on any platform anywhere, anyone discussing it, because all the people who attempted the test are saying they skipped it, which I don't think was fair. Pretty good question. All you had to do was be comfortable with the idea of a hollow cylindrical toy. So a hollow cylindrical toy will be something like this. So if it has a surface area 4620, it means the outer surface area, the outer curved surface, the inner curved surface, the top ring and the bottom ring. These are the 4 surfaces whose area is 4620. So the bottom ring area will be pi r square minus r square, where r is the larger radius, so 2r is the smaller radius, and you have the top ring and the bottom ring. So 2 times this, plus you would also have the outer curve area, so 2 pi r h. So 2 pi h r plus r. Basically, I'm doing 2 pi RH and 2 pi RH for outside and inside. I'm just writing it together for ease of working. And this is equal to 4620. This is the first equation. The second one, area of the base ring is 115.5. So can I go ahead and say pi r square minus r square is equal to 115.5? Okay, so if this is 115.5, can I simply replace this with 231? I can take it to the other side. 231 is cancelled. So what will I be left with? 4620, 231. Blah 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 blah. 20 में से 20 गया, 11 गया तो 89. Now I'm comfortable. 4389. Okay, 4389. This is what we are left with. Okay. Now see, finally we need the thickness of the toy. When we need the thickness of the toy, what we need is r minus r. This is all what we need. Now, I haven't mentioned one fact. Sorry. Height is equal to 7 centimeters. This fact was also there in the question. So 2 pi h, can we get 2 into 22 by 7 into 7, r plus r is equal to 4389. This much we have. 7 and 7 gone. We can also cancel out 11. So this goes to, this becomes 3, 33, 108, then 9 and 9. So r plus r is equal to 399 by 4. This much we have got. Now look at this expression. 22 by 7 into r plus r into r minus r is equal to 115. 115.5. We already have this r plus r value. So figuring out r minus r should not be that much of a challenge. Let me erase. I don't have space to write, otherwise I would have written it in the next step. 399 by 4. Cancel, cancel. You get 57 here. Cancel, cancel. You get 2 here. You get 11 here. Cancel, cancel. You get 10.5 here. So now you have r minus r is equal to 21 by 57. You can cancel by 3's again, and you'll end up with 7 by 19, which was one of the options present. 7 by 19 is the answer to this question. Not a straightforward question, but then this is the first question that required some sort of effort. And even still, it is not so much of an effort. It is the willingness to try. It is the willingness to try. Okay, let's get to contentious questions. This is a question that is universally contentious. Everyone knows this. The answer here should be 300 by 1 minus 4 by 5 into 2 minus 300. Everyone has done this. IFT has given this question 3-4 times already. So everyone knows this question. The answer will turn out to be 2700. The challenge was the options present were 1300, 1400, 1500, and 2000. 2700 was not present in the options. So of course, what happens to this? We don't know. We'll see. The next question that people are pretty sure of. People are not saying this is a contentious one, but according to me, this is very, very contentious because an isosceles triangle has sum of two sides as 12. If all sides are integral, how many such triangles are possible? So people are going 1, 11. So third side can only be 11. Agreed. 2, 10. The third side can only be 10. Agreed. 3, 9. Third side can only be 9. Agreed. 4, 8. Third side can only be 8. Absolutely agreed. 5, 7. It could also be 5, 5, 7. Both these cases are there. Next challenging case could be 6 and 6. And then people are going, now I can take anything from 1 to 11. Now I can take anything from 1 to 11. So you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 cases here and 11 cases here. So people are going 17 should be the answer. And it was present in the options. The problem is, within this, there is also going to be a case of 666. Within this, there is also going to be a case of 666. And this is an equilateral triangle. The question was of an isosceles triangle. Now, definitionally, equilateral triangle, according to Euclid geometric definition, an equilateral triangle has all 3 sides equal, and isosceles triangle has exactly 2 sides equal. But there is modern mathematical theory. Claiming that an isosceles triangle, as an equilateral triangle, is also isosceles, because isosceles is defined as a triangle in which at least 2 sides are equal. So do you count this or do you not count this? If you count this, the answer is 17. If you don't count this, the answer is 16. And this was not present in the options. But there was an option. None of these. Voila. So in my opinion, ideally what should happen here is they should give both these answers full marks, no answer apart from this. Nobody who has not marked this answer or nobody who has not attempted this question should get marks for this. But if you marked none of these or 17, you should get marks for this, because this is a matter of mathematical convention. Nobody has yet defined what is, as in, there is dissension among mathematicians about whether an equilateral triangle is considered to be isosceles or not. According to father of geometry, Euclid, no, it is not considered. An equilateral triangle has exactly 3 sides equal. An isosceles triangle has exactly 2 sides equal. But modern mathematical theory states that at least 2 sides equal triangles are called isosceles. So equilateral triangle is a special case of an isosceles triangle. So whether you count this case or not, it is up to them. It is up to discretion of SNAP. But then this is contentious nonetheless. Then this Assam and Gujarat one. 6% of the students attempting the exam were from Gujarat, and from this, I've tried to capture the language of the question, which was of course weird. 6% of the students attempting the exam were from Gujarat, and from the state of Assam, same number of people appeared in the exam. 7% of the people cleared the exam, which was 80 more than those from Gujarat. This sentence is contextually all over the place, but what I understood out of it was 7% of the people cleared the exam, and this number, the number of people who cleared the exam, is 80 more than those from Gujarat. So from Gujarat, you had 6% of the people. 7% of the people have cleared the exam. So difference is 1%. 1% is 80. So if 1% of total students is 80, total students will be 8,000. Final question was how many people from Assam and Gujarat appeared in the paper. Now 6% were from Gujarat, and from the state of Assam, same number of people appeared. So it should be 12% of 8,000. This should be equal to 960. But again, the options were 7,000, 8,000, 14,000, and 16,000. These were the options given. So I don't know what happens here. Ideally, everyone who has attempted or not attempted should get marks, because this question is stupid. There was a language problem, and even if you somehow made head or tail out of it, the options are absolutely bonkers all over the place. But what can we do? Let's go. My entire life is, or my entire focus is on what happens with the contentious questions. In quant, contentious questions, let's say even if SNAP went ahead and said that this one, no, we consider equilateral to be equilateral triangles to be isosceles triangles, we are fine with it, because given that there are 2 streams of thought, whatever they say is acceptable. But then for this 2700 and for this Assam and Gujarat case, there is no way There is no way somebody can say, no, the options are correct. This is how you interpret it and this is how you're supposed to do it. These questions are definitely wrong. So what happens with the contentious questions? There are multiple ways they can handle it. Either they can give +1 to everyone, which is unfair. Which is unfair to people from slot 2 and slot 3. It is as good as people from slot 1 had a head start in the paper. I'm starting off at +2 or +3, whatever they accept as wrong or don't accept as wrong, whatever, So if somebody starting off at +3, I'm starting off at 0 and I don't have any wrong questions, then unfair to me. Or if they decide to do this, they don't give anybody any marks, they simply deduct 3 marks are gone. And now people from slot 1 are being awarded marks out of only 57. That is also very, very unacceptable, because then this is a disadvantage to slot 1 people. So this is where I felt stating outright, we will not do normalization. Normalization is not going to happen. Very, very childish. Normalization is being followed by multiple exams all over the world. Everyone is doing it. CAT is doing it. But for some reason, Snap has an aversion to it. I'm sure they have their good reasons. But then this doesn't really bode well. So what happens with the contentious questions? Honestly, nobody knows right now. But as much of a non-confrontational rebel I am in my life, if there is something that we can do, we should do. So what I've done is I've drafted a letter, I drafted a mail, which I will put in the description. You can go ahead and check it there. Dear Sir Ma'am, I am your name, Snap ID, and I had appeared for Snap test dated Snap test 21 dated 19th December 2021. SYMBIOSIS is a prestigious institution, and it is faith in the brand name and goodwill of the esteemed institution that I write to you today. There were at least 3 questions in the QA section which were contentious. PFA the attachment with the questions and the issues therein. I will also put a link to the PDF file, or you can come to my Telegram group. I will put it there. I will pin it there on my Telegram group. It is much easier there. Here I will have to create a Google link and everything. I'm not very proficient. So it will be on my Telegram group. You can come there and tick it. There are at least 3 questions in the QA section which are contentious, and there could potentially be more in other sections as well. I remember things from the QA section. That was the last section that I was doing, and QA I can still remember. Other things I can't really remember. I'm sure you'd agree that making errors is not a bad thing, but not taking corrective steps to rectify the error is not something responsible entities do. Yeah, in the stature and prestige of SYMBIOSIS, I'm sure you would have a corrective mechanism in place where we can raise objections, or at least a way by which we will get to know what will happen to those questions. Will those questions not be considered for evaluation, leading to total marks of slot 1 people being only 57, and with no normalization, getting them at a disadvantage, or will everyone be awarded full marks for those specific questions? I'm also willing to admit that these objections that I'm raising, although corroborated by several of my fellow examinees, could themselves be bogus, in which case I apologize for wasting your time. I have every faith that you shall do the right thing and ensure the students who have spent an entire year dreaming of getting into your hallowed portals will not be treated unjustly or be kept in the dark, or be kept, I should add it there. The text below will have the correct version. Or be kept in the dark regarding the corrective measures taken. Regards, names, and your Snap ID. Most likely, this will not yield any distinctive results straight away. Using Snap people, back in 2018, they had released the answer key to the question paper or to the exam that they had conducted. But ever since that, they have not done it. They don't release it. Again, I'm sure they have their own reasons. And people like making fun of Snap because they don't release the answer key, but for the longest period of time, even CAT did not do so. CAT decided from 2017 onwards, okay, now we will release answer key. The only institution in that regard which has been very transparent and has released answer keys is ZAT from time immemorial. Even when we had paper pen based ZAT and you circled in answers, even at that time they released your response sheet, as in these are the answers you circled and this is the answer key that should be present. So that is good there. Their answers themselves are challenging, at least the DN section, but fun. So what I would urge you to do is, at least for your peace of mind, if you feel, if you're getting stressed, what should happen here? Go ahead, write down this mail, copy this mail, fill in the blanks which are necessary. Don't just send a blank email. Write everything and send it over to them. I'm sure if they receive multiple mails, they will take some corrective action or at least come out with a notification as to what they're going to do. It is not so much that they will not do normalization. Okay, you stated that rule, we agree with it. But what happens in case of a wrong question? As in, you have, as a good management practice, you have to anticipate for things failing. What will be your corrective step for that has to be thought of. And again, Symbiosis is one of the topmost private institutes. Yes, they should be taking corrective steps here. We can only urge them. We cannot threaten them. We cannot tell them, no, no, you have to do this. Otherwise, my life will be ruined. No emotional appeals are going to work. Simply telling them, okay, this is the situation. What are you going to do? Give them a chance to answer. I'm sure they will surprise you with some good thing. Either the best thing right now that Snap can do is review those questions. Those internal people sit down and check the paper all over again. And then they find, okay, these were the errors. Now, what should we do? Whatever you decide, it doesn't really matter whether you award 57 or 60 or not, but at least tell people what you're going to do. It should not come as a surprise on that day, this has happened. So ideally, in an ideal world, what they would be doing is normalization, ignoring those questions and then doing normalization, at least scaling, as in at least proportionally increasing, pro rata basis, increasing the marks of people. Don't give marks to everyone, give marks to people who have generally done it correctly. But okay, whatever they choose to do is up to them. It is their discretion. We cannot really demand they should do it this way. But send over a mail. This is what we can do. Don't go on a rampage mentioning on various social media platforms, this exam is bad, that exam is bad. Yes, the exam conduct can be much better. The exam conduct can be much better. Even let's say IIFT, when I heard the news that they are conducting re-exam of a center in outside of those 3 states, as in I heard some other people, not just from those 3 states, they were having a re-exam. I was initially happy. Oh, IIFT has taken a corrective measure, because there were reports of rampant cheating. People have taken an exam, taken a break, come out, talked to their friends, gotten the answer, come back, then marked a lot of right answers. Those instances have happened. Then when I heard the news that people have to reappear for the exam, I was extremely happy. Okay, IIFT has taken a corrective step, which is nice of them to do. But then when you dig deep, you realize what they've done is they've said, you can appear for it again, and then the better of your 2 scores will be taken. So basically all that cheating allegation and people knowing the answers beforehand and all those things are not really being taken care of. It's more like, let us do something to appease masses, which is not great. But okay, for Snap, this will be for Snap, this will be there in the chat box. The Telegram group will contain the PDF file, which will have the contentious questions and the possible solutions for them. That will be all, people. Okay, bye.